Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I just got done with Stranger Things, Chapter 7 called Massacre at Hawkins Lab. This is pretty much the last episode until July 1st. We'll get, we'll get 8 and 9. But guys, literally, what a crazy, season in general. Of course, I have my first two, episode reviews of Season 4 up on the channel. Go check them out. But guys, yeah, this was a crazy cliffhanger to make us want to come back for 8 and 9, episodes 8 and 9. Again, I don't know why they're making us wait, and they kind of left us on the cliffhanger for 8 and 9. I even told my sister it's probably because of all the lost time that they had filming this new season. And, all the hype, there was a lot of people that said the hype for the show kind of dimmed down, and people kind of forgot about the show and forgot there was going to be other seasons. So I feel like they're doing this not only for the people that haven't watched the show, but also the people, when they find out that, there is a two-parter to this, they'll have time for the people that haven't watched the show yet, time to watch the show, and the hype can build up or whatever, and then people can come back for the last two episodes. So it kind of builds up hype for people that haven't watched it. I mean, I know we still couldn't wait for the next season. For people that didn't really care anymore, the hype of, the cliffhanger that they left us on, people will hear that and want to binge the show of Season 4 and catch the last two episodes airing on July 1st, which is very smart from a Netflix, marketing standpoint, and also for the people, the directors of Stranger Things, and the people that are involved in Stranger Things. It's a way to bring people back. But guys, not gonna lie, my one, gripe about this season is how long the episodes are. There was episodes that did not need to be as long as they were, especially with the whole Jonathan's friend storyline, also with, Mike and Will. That whole storyline where they're literally trying to, get to the place that Elle is at right now, trying to get back her powers, which we do end up finding out, I forget in what episode we end up finding out that, Brenner literally, I guess, tells Elle that there is a way for her to get her powers back, and she'll even be stronger this time. So we end up finding out that literally that's why she has, her buzz cut again in the trailers, is her getting her powers back, which we kind of already knew, that she didn't have her powers when we started the season, but from the trailers, they kind of spoiled that she will be getting her powers back. So I wasn't really shocked that she would not be getting her powers back. I knew from the trailer she was getting her powers back. We just didn't know when, and we just didn't know how, but we ended up finding out that I guess he had, Brenner had, a fail-safe just in case, the Upside Down opened again, or there would be a bigger threat to give Elle back her powers. So she gets taken to this location, and pretty much we end up having Mike and all of them trying to take this road trip, trying to figure out where the location is so they could get Elle and they can get in Hawkins, because they know what's going on in Hawkins, but yet there's still no communication between Jonathan, Mike, and Will, and, Jonathan's friend, over to what's going on in Hawkins, because the officers were set there. Brenner had officers looking after Jonathan and them, but we end up having them killed by the military, and wants to end up hunting Elle because they think Elle is the reason that people keep dying in Hawkins, even though that's stupid to me that this officer person doesn't know the fact that Elle doesn't have her abilities anymore, because I guess they think Elle is dead, and they think that Elle's the only explanation that what's going on in Hawkins. she must be still alive, because I guess Brenner said to the military that, oh, she's dead, oh, you know what I mean? But I guess they kind of think that, oh, this seems like Elle is still alive because this has her written all over it, which again, I think is, I don't know if I really like that plot line, that, we have, military going against military, thinking that someone's keeping secrets from, that this dude is keeping secrets from the military, even though, again, there is no proof that Elle is behind any of this. And, they're really not in Hawkins finding out really what's going on, because even the cops don't even know what's going on in Hawkins at all. So I just don't know if I like that plot line that, we have this military dude wanting to go after Brenner, and, because he lied about, Elle, still being alive, and, they still think that Elle is the reason that all this shit is going down in Hawkins. So right now it's a race trying to go save Elle, even though I don't think Elle needs saving. Clearly by the end of this episode, it clearly shows us that she still has her powers. So I think that, them trying to go get Elle instead of going back to Hawkins, letting their friends know that they're still alive and they're okay and they know what's going on, and them not going to Hawkins to go help. Again, Dustin, Robin and Steve and Max and, I forget, and Lucas and all of the gang that are still left in Hawkins, they aren't just going straight to Hawkins to go help them. They're going to go save Elle when she really doesn't need saved. So I just don't like that plot line really, when it just feels like it's a lot of wasted time when they could have just done that. But I understand that they wanted to make it a big crescendo of getting everybody together at the last episode, which we'll probably see in episode 9. They'll all get together to fight Vecna, but we probably won't see the big fight between Elle and Vecna probably until next season. I would not be shocked if they drag this out into season 5. So my guess is also, which I kind of the big reveal on who Vecna is. Apparently, Vecna is the Creel son, apparently, which I did not know that until Nancy ends up pretty much getting captured by Vecna and gets put into a trance, pretty much. So as of right now, we did not know until that moment where Vecna was like, oh, you were so close from figuring out who I was. It was right underneath your nose, about her looking into the Creel house. And pretty much, I guess the son set up the father by killing, his sister and killing the mother, so that way the father would take the blame. And he pretty much, had the original powers and pretty much gave all of the kids' powers of that have the numbers on them. Pretty much, this kid gave Elle her abilities. Vecna gave Elle her abilities and was the first. He was number one. And when they mentioned, back in Hawkins' lab, when, Elle is going back through her memories, going back, so she can get her abilities back, she has to go through all of her past, teachings that, she had at, Hawkins' lab. And, I guess there was a person there, I guess is kind of like a security guard there, I'm assuming. And I guess he was one this entire time, and he was kind of like teaching Elle, behind the scenes, you should use, something that makes you angry as to give you power. And right from there, I knew also when I guess there was rumors that there is no number one. I was like, he's number one because he's giving Elle teachings on if you want to get strong, and the main source of power is if you looking into a past trauma of yours, and that's what gives you strength. And I was like, okay, right away, he's number one. But then I was like, oh my God. And then we end up finding out that number one, that the Creel house son, is also Vecna. And that's pretty much, him, getting sent into the Upside Down. He's pretty much, I guess, the creation of the Upside Down. He is the Upside Down, we end up finding out, which was pretty insane from what I'm gathering, that he is the Upside Down, because the big fight that we had when Elle ends up finding out that he was actually the one that lied to her, so that way, he was actually the person that killed everybody around the hospital, which we end up finding out around Hawkins' lab. He is the one that killed everybody, which, Elle in the beginning of the season thought that she was the one that did that, and she was repressing those memories because she felt, she didn't want to remember that she did that. But it turns out she was never the one that did that. He tricked her into getting a dampening thing out of his neck, pretty much that stops him from using his abilities, and pretty much, manipulates her so that way she'll take it out, so that way he can just kill everybody around the lab, because they're not like him, they're not superior like he is. So that's why he ends up doing that. Pretty much the dude is just a monster all around, and she pretty much sends him, by destroying him, she pretty much creates the portal to the Upside Down, which is, I think, from him. So it's kind of like, this is really personal, and I'm excited to see that fight go down against, with Elle and, this, and Vecna, because it is personal there, because, again, Elle is pretty much the one that banishes him and makes him go into the Upside Down, and it's pretty much good versus evil. And I'm excited because, where he finds strength and in fear, she finds strength and, hope and all that stuff. So I love that. It's very cool. It's very Star Wars, the light and the dark. So I find this very entertaining. So I'm just super excited to see where this is all going to go in season 5, because, like I said, I don't think we'll see Elle and Vecna fight in 8 and 9. I think they'll wait until season 5. But yeah, overall, great season. But besides the fact of, I told my sister telling me that, since we don't really know if Nancy will survive, because we end up finding out a way to break free of Vecna's curse, from him pretty much getting ready to snap you in half. You need to listen to you need to have a music that is a tether, your favorite song that's a tether that keep you grounded, so you're not in Vecna's, you're not taken over by Vecna's curse. I kept saying to myself, okay, they were able to save Max before she died, but I was like, there is no way. Eddie, yeah, they're in Eddie's trailer right now, and unless Nancy has a song that's very well known that Eddie might have in there, there's a good chance she might die because that's the only thing to really get her out of her trance is a song, one of her favorite songs. But Bethany said it, my sister said it, where her theory is maybe we see Steve sing her favorite song, and that really is the thing that gets her and Steve together because there is something that's going throughout this season where it's like, oh, Nancy might like Steve again. Oh, Steve might like Nancy again. And it kind of annoys me because I'm not interested in that relationship. I was always rooting for Jonathan and Nancy, so I don't really care. And I don't know how Jonathan's going to feel when he finds out, like, oh, I think Nancy fell in love with somebody else. So, I mean, I just don't know how that's going to go because, he clearly cares about Nancy, but the reason he wasn't, of course, calling before is because he doesn't want her, I mean? It's like difficult things with the fact of, I guess, him not going to her college that, I guess they were planning on doing together and him and wanting to be with her like that. He wants to stay and look over Will and his mother. Also, guys, yeah, what my sister was saying is that there was a lot more comedic relief as the sooner we got to episode 7 between, Murray and Joyce saving, of course, Hopper out in Russia, which that was a whole big crazy scene with, with the Demogorgon, tall and pretty much taking out the rest of the inmates out in this fighting arena that they have going on. That was very intense, especially right when Hopper got to safety, the flame went out on his sword. I was like, damn, you just got lucky that you survived there and Joyce got there in time and Murray got there in time to get you out of there. So pretty much we just cut from them by Hopper and Joyce hugging each other. And I was like, oh my God, how are they? I'm still wondering how they're going to get out of that with the fact of there are other guards there, unless, they can get to the control room again and let out, the Demogorgon, but I don't think that's what they want to do because the Demogorgon will literally go terrorize Russia. So I don't know if, that's what they're going to do. Or my theory is I could just see them blowing up the facility and the fire will just kill the Demogorgon, but who knows, honestly. But yeah, that was pretty much one of the comedic elements. Of course, was Murray with his karate. That was very funny. When he kept saying oh, my hands are made for this, my feet are made for this. I was like, that's pretty funny. Just him going back and forth with Joyce saying oh, aren't you a black belt? And he's like, yeah, so. And she's like, how old are the kids that you're fighting? He's like, I don't know, 15, 16. And he's like, I did beat this 16-year-old, so that makes me capable of doing this. Thanks for the pep talk. I was like, damn, bro. So that was very funny when he went into his inner karate mode. I thought that was very funny. So like I said, that was when we went back to Murray and Joyce, those were very comedic moments that we did need in this series of all the crazy shit all the crazy dark shit that was going on in Hawkins. So we needed, Murray and Joyce to save Hopper for the comedic moments because Murray's very funny. Joyce is very funny. On top of us going, of course, to see, Jonathan and Jonathan's new stoner friend, that was again going to another side of comedic elements to give us some comedic elements to make us pretty much survive through this show. You know what I mean? We needed those moments because the season was so dark. But like I said, guys, I was not prepared for the fact I knew that one existed, and I knew that one dude that was teaching Elle on the side of the Papa teaching Elle. I knew right away that he was one. It was a shock to me to find out that he is Vecna. That's what shocked me. And when I knew right in the moment where when Vecna told Nancy, "Oh, you were so close from finding out the truth." I knew right away when he was telling the story of him actually, the Creel's son actually doing these things. I knew right then and there he was Vecna in that moment. I didn't even really need the whole, showing of him, him showing his number one in, at the end cutscene of the episode. I didn't even need to show that because once you show the backstory from that and also the backstory of Elle shooting him into the Upside Down, that kind of states right then and there that one is Vecna, on top of the story of Vecna telling Nancy that he was the one that set up his father for the death of, his mother and his sister. I knew right then and there, I'm like, okay, he must be Vecna because he's young enough where it's Vecna showed up around this time. I'm like, he is Vecna. And I was already at this point, we knew he was one because he was doing all these things right then and there. But I caught he was one. Again, when they specified there is no one, that's just, that's just that's just like a rumor going around the place, about around Hawkins Lab, that there was a 1. And, Papa said there was no 1. And of course, him giving the advice to 11 about, digging in deep to your past traumas. I'm like, he is 1. So I just love that I caught on to that. I'm very good at catching on to those things very early on. And I'm not going to lie, there wasn't many surprises in the show because of how much they gave away in the trailer. I kind of knew the moments that were about to happen because of the outfits that they were wearing in the trailer. So I was kind of like, damn, I kind of know everything that's going to happen, sort of. And I was watching the episodes, I knew the big moments that were about to happen. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't watch that trailer, but that trailer was just so good. Like the first trailer we got for the season before we got like the final trailer before they released the show. But yeah, guys, again, I love this season. I cannot wait to give my other, my episode 8 and 9 spoiler reviews when it airs July 1st. Again, here, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, like this video. I'd love to have you guys here, a part of the fam, part of the channel, while about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, yet again, we are almost to 600 subscribers. Right now, we're at 525, almost to 600. My goal is to get to 600 before the end of June. My initial goal is to get to 1,000 before the end of this year, and I know we can achieve that goal. So yet again, here, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, post notifications, and like this video. But guys, that was the video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.